Hello, everyone. Happy Monday afternoon. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Daniel. Very light viewership today. Guess it was a boring market day. Well, people will catch it on demand then. So, big news. Tucker Carlson no longer at Fox News. Don Lemon no longer at CNN. So, who needs the markets? Who needs the markets at all? All right. What else has happened today? I'll wait for more people to stream in slowly. By the way, a new Futures Edge podcast dropped. It's up on the YouTube channel as well as Spotify. So, Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, another bad print. Wow, minus 23. So, in the report was very interesting, talking about major slowdown. Major slowdown. So, but couldn't keep a good market down. Well, the S&P looks to be pretty flat, nearly closing right at that zero gamma level again. Tomorrow, minor Redbook. I like to still follow Redbook. Not many people do. Get the Case-Shiller Home Index. Home prices, bigger consumer confidence expected to still be bouncing up. New home sales, you got Richmond, Fed, services and manufacturing. Dallas Fed, today was, remember, Dallas Fed manufacturing. Tomorrow is Dallas Fed services. Also expected to be in contraction. The Richmond, though, is looking like it's supposed to potentially bounce. So we'll see. But again, it's some region. This is regional week. Still without everything, without much else going on, I would pay attention to these numbers. And with Fed quiet period, remember, no Fed speak until the meeting next Wednesday. Oil bounced back along with oil stocks, pretty strong in healthcare. Tesla continues pullback. Consumer defensive, so you can see somewhat rotating into things like consumer defensive today. Let me just refresh this. Energy and basic materials, though, leading it, and consumer defensive was still positive. Technology, real estate, consumer cyclical, sort of they were taking the risk off approach going into some defensive stocks. Fed watch, almost 91.5%. We get to these numbers and it's pretty much baked in again, unless we have something shocking with the PCE numbers on Friday. It would have to be a big shock. Fear and greed, still in greed, even with this choppy back and forth day. So let's see. Hey, Paul, thank you for tuning in. Evening, Charles. All right, we had First Republic. Well, it looked like a beat on earnings. However, their deposits fell off the table. So I think that was trading down just a little bit. But this was the quiet day. We still had Coke from this morning, but this was the quiet day. Tomorrow, though, we got Verizon before the open, UPS, Halliburton, GM, McDonald's, GE, 3M, PepsiCo, Spotify, Raytheon. Those are some of the major ones tomorrow. Those aren't everything, but those are the major ones. Then tomorrow after the close, we got Microsoft, Alphabet, Enphase, Visa, Chipotle. So tomorrow is massive earnings day. Massive earnings day. So do not get caught off guard tomorrow. Hey, George. All right. The lows. The S&P, a little poke down. It doesn't look like it's going to close above today's high. It was a pretty choppy back and forth day. See, we got a little, tried to break out above the high briefly, but could not get a close. It doesn't look like it's going to get the daily close, so no percent B buy. Bottom levels held pretty nice, but then top level could not make it to the next level up there. Again, still holding the daily rotation zone. Cycles on the daily getting back to the bottom, but on the weekly at the top. So mismatched cycles. So any up move could be a little muted. But rotation zone still holding on the S&P, again, on breaks below about 41.34. My jaw is clicking. Yeah, I know you. I did not talk to you, Siri. Uh, Anything down below this 41.35 area, that's your key support. And this was an outside day from Fridays. But I'll be watching 41.65 for the breakout area tomorrow. The NASDAQ, we still have the potential double top, but we do not have it's not confirmed. We still have the potential double top, and it's not confirmed or triggered. Still would need a close below 12,925.50. And look at where that 50 is. This is going to be interesting because we get that trigger. The 50 is right at the first target area. Hello, hello, Christoph. So that's where we sit there. Again, outside day in the NASDAQ. So when I have a day like this, I'm watching the highs and the lows for the key thing. The Dow could be the closest one to trigger a %B, but we got a few minutes left, so I'll have to see. And everything's holding the rotation zone. But again, I'm expecting the rotations up to be pretty muted. The key support in the Dow, this is 33.8. With this going into tomorrow, I'm looking at about 34.15, 34,015. The Russell, no outside day in here, but still caught in consolidation. Again, unless it gets above 1810 or really below about 1783, it would just be intraday choppy trading. You have the VIX 1688 back down near the recent lows. I'm still trying to figure out this VIX one day in the delayed data. It'll be interesting. Remember, they do after like noon comes, you have a weighting of 50% for today's, 50% for tomorrow's. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I haven't even figured out on this platform. I get it on my other trading platforms as included. I don't know what I'd have to do to get it non-delayed data. I looked briefly and I don't know which. If somebody knows, let me drop it in. Let me know, or just shoot me an email, support at Path Trading Partners, and let me know. But I'll be trying to see how this is going to work. I mean, you can't make any conclusions off one day of data, so we'll glance in at it. Hey, Christoph, thank you for the super sticker. I did see your information about the beans also in Discord. Thank you. Everybody give Christoph a great shout out. He's been doing a lot of work on doubles too. He's really doing his research and making it his own. The DAX still up against this key resistance area. Could not get through the next harmonic level yet. Very interesting. Stalled out at the most recent high area multiple times. The notes. Remember, we had the %B buy on Thursday, little pullback on Friday, and a follow through today. So, and by the way, this is, from my perspective, this is more aggressively raising a stop. The key target areas is about 115.14 to 115.16, at least in the short term. You can even use this little pullback area and make it a 115.14. That's how I got that. It's really 115.14 and a half. That's how I got that level. Well, thank you again, Christoph. I'm trying to be helpful, and I really do appreciate the super sticker and people donating to the channel. I did not take a look at Carrier today. So that's how I'm coming up with the targets for that %B in case anybody was wondering. Just trying to also teach you methodology that I utilize and how I use these tools. The 10-2's still at the breakdown level. Let's just glance at the yield curve on the non-futures. And see, that's one it's a little more clear, but it's still holding below the key resistance level. You see here breakdown and a little bounce. Gonna see if this rolls over this week, especially with going into the Fed next week. Oh boy.
I didn't get that.
I don't know why you keep thinking I'm talking to you, Siri. I'm going to have to punish you. You're going to have to go to timeout. Dollar index. Remember I was watching for the 62.5. Still no close below it, but it came back down, still holding this. Now, what's interesting, if we break below this intraday, then I'd start targeting the lower prices. I just wanted to jump over to the euro because remember we got the double bottom. It's harder to see on this level, but it was triggered, and essentially all the targets are hit. I mean, it came within a few pips of it. I'm just pulling these targets off. So that's where we sit there. That's where we sit there with that euro. The euro with the dollar index pulling down. We had that double top or the double bottom trigger. I'm really going to pay attention to this key line from using this as an initiating point, this as a defining point for a potential rollover move at this point. But I'm watching for probably some follow through tomorrow to see this recent high retest. What else do we have? Let me just get through. Not quite yet off the table with the double top in the pound, but I'm expecting this to probably turn into a triple top, especially with the close above the 62.5. So I'm really watching for this to probably return to one, not guarantee, but I'm watching for a return to 125.20 area. And that would take this never triggered or confirmed double top off the table. The yen, just choppy right here. Did not get up into double top territory. I think it just missed 74.3. What was the high today? 73.4. So no, it did not. Just want to double check that. That's the only thing I'm keeping an eye on. What else do we have? Crude. Crude we had with the double bottom triggered and the first target hit. By the way, pullback areas now 77.99. So between 78.39 to 77.99 is where I'll be watching for a pullback area. Gold still holding below, triggering on Friday the head and shoulders. Very sloppy, very sloppy. I would not use this as a shorting. This would not be a strong short for me. It is a great for pullback levels. Though in the short term, 2007 is key resistance. Silver has not triggered the head and shoulders, by the way. Copper, still caught in consolidation. What else do we have? Bitcoin. I wonder if we get a little bigger, and we have this really weird with extended shoulder patterns. Again, I just put on the targets for it if it does extend a little more, just to see where they fall, but I would not trade it that way. Tesla, again, closing below. That's 2 daily closes below this huge double top pattern. But finding support, by the way, this is not a double bottom. But I will be watching 166.20 for if we start getting momentum above there for a partial rally. That's about it. Other than that, I'm looking for lower prices in the longer term. Thanks for putting that in there, Jake. Carrier. Intel going for the gap fill. Let's just take a look at Intel. Remember, Intel earnings on Thursday. Going into Thursday, also that gap fill, remember your 50% harmonic. So getting sell off into, and now the break back below the 200. Not surprised to see it rolling over. Getting the oversold condition, getting in with daily cycles at the bottom. But weekly cycles could still run lower. It'll be interesting to see what they post for earnings. How would I handle a triggered double top with the following %B buy triggered? Let me see. PDCE. That I'd watch for some follow through. Like This, I wouldn't, I mean, this was already triggered. And this could be a short 1 to 2 day follow through. I want to see where the stops are on this one. What's interesting is it could come technically off the percent B buy with cycles at the bottom. Let's see where that was on the weekly. And fill the gap without hitting the stop. So, what I personally have done in the past, when I see something like this, we start rallying intraday. I look to go with the rally and then as long as it does not hit the stop, I then look at key levels to reinitiate a potential short. If you're just trading off this day pattern and you're not intraday trading, I'd leave the double triggered first, and this could pop back up and then roll over. But if you're intraday trading, I start getting with this. We start taking out today's high. I know where my key area to re-add would be, as long as it doesn't close, above that 62.5 at 68.26 tomorrow, which it theoretically could, but I know where I'd be looking to re-add. Make sense? Does that make sense, Christoph? So that's where that sits. All right. Let's see. That's really, what else have I missed? We went through everything there. Let me just double check anything we should look at. Let's see. We got Verizon for tomorrow. By the way, Verizon does have a little mini double going into earnings, but that could get triggered and played out before, just with if it gaps up on the earnings. Other than that, that is about it on Verizon. We got Oops, which has a little mini double top going into earnings. None of these have triggered though, so these are potential. Oops could beat and then gap up and invalidate that. So when I see, because people have asked me in the past, well, there's a double on there. Does that mean you go short? Well, not if it's not triggered. It's just a potential pattern. And it could still remain valid after earnings. I mean, you could have a slight gap down that confirms it or even triggers it tomorrow. But if there's going to be a big gap down could just go to target. A gap up would invalidate the pattern. So, Comcast. Yeah. A little flat there, but that is a valid pattern. On the down move, and yeah, it is earnings, so you have to. But look where that target is from the conservative side. 30 back to the 200. That's interesting. In 5 below. Yes. Yep. It's not confirmed or triggered yet, but that is valid. There you go. And it could be traded on a 4-hour basis too. So, SLB Schlumberger. Yeah, it's confirmed and not triggered yet. So yeah, thanks for pointing those out. There you go. There's another potential topping pattern. And this, when I see something like this, I really focus on that second target. Not to say the third target could not get hit. I just really focus on that second target. Well, this will be interesting. There's Halliburton. Nothing fantastic going into earnings tomorrow. GM. You can see how often I look at GM on this platform. Nothing fantastic besides a couple little gaps. McDonald's. Now this has had a run into earnings, and when I see something like this, generally I try to lock in something going into earnings because of this kind of run. Because this could be the time, even if it pops up, you'll get the sell after earnings because of this kind of run. Where is this trading in terms of, geez, P to E again, 35 for McDonald's. I would not be chasing that higher at this point. All right, let me just check pop. I guess that sort of makes sense. Pop for Pep. PepsiCo, again, another one that's had a major run up against major resistance in the earnings. Wonder if some of these will, even if they beat with it, it'll pop and then reverse back down. Huh. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. And we got GEs tomorrow. Man, I used to trade GE a ton back for pairs trading. But I have not traded GE in years. Probably should have. I mean, this has been on a tear. No fantastic pattern. Where's this trading in terms of... Huh. Wonder if this will have a gap down. Yeah, GE does have earnings tomorrow. In the morning. And then last but not least, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a day. Spotify. A lot of these just don't have great setups going into earnings. Huh. It'll be interesting, some of these tomorrow. All right. With that, and there you go. There you go. We went through a bunch of earnings. Well, I will reconvene tomorrow morning again. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to y'all later. Bye for now.